How long will Cam be out with this mild lisfranc injury? What's going on, Panther Nation? It's your boy LCameraTV here, man. And I've been working on something for a little while now, but I finally got it in place. I got my affiliate link for NFL shops, so you can cop all your NFL gear on my page. The link is in the description below, man. I know y'all want your Carolina Panther jerseys, hats, mugs, all types of cool stuff. You know, I got a Cam Newton jersey. I'm trying to get a Christian McCaffrey and a Luke Kuechly, you know what I'm saying? I got offense. I definitely need defense, man. So any NFL fan or Panther fan that wants some NFL gear, come to my affiliate link, cop some jerseys, cop some mugs, cop some stuff, man. Make sure you represent the Carolina Panthers when they're in London and wherever else, man. And thank y'all for showing love and tuning in. Definitely cop some gear. If y'all don't want the L camera, you might as well get the Carolina. Yo! Welcome to LCameraTV. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with links on Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and Roman.com and Twitter and wherever else. And guys, we got a lot to talk about. First, we got to get into the basic preview of our match Sunday. Who has the better team, coach, players? Y'all already know. I'm going to break that down. Secondly, I'm going to get into who I think will win and why. And then thirdly, I got to get into a certain quarterback basically confessing to something. So we got a lot to talk about today, guys. So let's get started. Now, the first thing I got to get into is the tale of the tape. The Houston Texans versus the Carolina Panthers, who have the better teams, who have the better coach. And the first thing I'm going to get into is coaching style. Coaching-wise, I don't really like Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien, to me, is not really a good coach. He came from the Patriot system. And I don't really like coaches from the Patriot system. I think Bill Belichick sells dreams. I think he makes coaches look really well, especially on the defensive side. And they go to other teams and they never perform well. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we've seen that with Josh McDaniels, Brian Flores, and Miami Dolphins. Matt Patricia's doing, I guess, kind of well in Lions, but it's just usually his coaching, people from his coaching staff or from his coaching tree tend to be not so good coaches. You know what I'm saying? And Bill O'Brien has done some things that I definitely do not like, so I got to give Ron Rivera the nod. Ron Rivera won Coach of the Year and all that stuff. I've talked about Ron Rivera multiple times. I think Ron Rivera's a better coach. You know what I'm saying? I think both of them are not great at, decision making in most cases. So for me, I gotta give Ron Rivera the nod. Team wise, quarterback, gotta give it to Texans. Deshaun Watson is a baller. He's one of the best young quarterbacks out there. It's between him, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield. But I would take Deshaun Watson over Baker Mayfield personally right now. So definitely got us in the quarterback position. Obviously, we got Kyle Allen, who I think is serviceable, but nowhere near as good as Deshaun Watson. Running back, definitely give us a nod. Christian McCaffrey, not even a conversation. I think he's second right now in rushing yards, depending on how the Eagles did. But before the Eagles game, he was number 2. It was Dalvin Cook number 1, and he was number 2. So he has like 318 rushing yards. He baller. It is what it is. We get that nod. Receiving core, they get that nod. Just because, well, actually, I'll take both of their receivers over ours. You know what I'm saying? DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best receivers in the league, hands down. Arguably the best. Just to be honest with you. You could make a serious case that he's the best receiver in the league. So I'll be like DeAndre Hopkins. Will Fuller's a baller. You know what I'm saying? So they have a really good receiving core. We have a good receiving core too, but nowhere near as good as theirs. So I'll give them the nod on that. Offensive line. Our offensive line is not great, but it's definitely better than theirs. Deshaun Watson gets killed every game. He gets hit all the time. His O-line is trash. You know what I'm saying? It's very much trash. Now, mind you, our O-line even though our O-line had the lowest pass block rate of any team in the NFL last game, or so far. Because the main reason was because of Darrell Williams was playing horribly. The two people who had the lowest grades in that department were Darrell Williams, who's now going to be playing right guard if Trey Turner is out. And if he isn't, he still shouldn't be playing. He should be benched. And Matt Paradis, who we paid a lot of money for, which is kind of bad because we thought Matt Paradis was going to be a Pro Bowl center like he was in Broncos. He's not lived up to that billing yet. Mind you, both of them will come up for injuries, but I don't think Darrell Williams is going to come back to form. I think Matt Paradis, once he gets more comfortable on his legs and stuff like that, he'll be better than what he's showing currently. But Darrell Williams definitely needs to be out of there. Greg Little is our future. And I think because Greg Little will be starting left tackle, we won't have to worry about that so much. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy about that. So I'll give us a nod at O-line. Defensive line. I got to give it to the Houston Texans, but our front seven is pretty dominant. You know what I'm saying? Our linebacker core is better than theirs, in my opinion. Like I said, their D-line is better than ours. Secondary, I kind of give that a wash. So we're a pretty evenly matched team. The only thing that I think is like kind of like a glaring difference is quarterback situation, but I think Kyle Allen can perform. So, especially if we keep Deshaun Watson under pressure. So I give it like a tie. I think, you know what I'm saying, we have the better coach. Team's kind of evenly matched, you know what I'm saying. We had like 8 sacks last game, stuff like that. So we're kind of like evenly matched in that sense. So I think it's a winnable game for us. But it all comes down to the coaching. I think there's going to be a lot of plays that comes down to what coach makes the right calls. Because like I said, when teams are tied, it tends to go to the coach and who's doing the right plays and who's just triggering the defense and stuff like that. But this is going to be a nice test for us, though. So for me, I think it's going to be a pretty defensive game. I think this final score will be 17-14 Panthers. The reason why I say that is because, yes, Houston has the home crowd in their favor, but I think it's going to be, both defenses are going to be playing great. I think defenses travel. I think because our run game is better, we might have a little nod in that. And I think because their O-line is, I think, a lot worse than ours, Deshaun Watson's going to get hit a lot. Especially, you know, one of the matches you definitely got to pay attention to is Brian Burns versus Tytus Howard. Tytus Howard's from Alabama State, Brian Burns, Florida State. Brian Burns has been looking great since he's been playing. And Bruce Irvin's coming back. So I think our pass rush is going to be able to get to Deshaun Watson. He's going to hit him a few times. And I think that's going to give us the edge. Maybe, you know, have a turnover, whatever, give us a short field. And we'll win by a field goal. I think both defenses are going, like I said, going to play great. And I think we'll win by a field goal. It'll be 17-14. That's my prediction. And finally, I got to talk about my dog, my quarterback, Cam Newton. He dropped a YouTube video basically doing his own impression of Usher's My Confessions because he basically was telling us what was going on with him, man. What's up with the injury, why he's not playing, all that stuff. Now, I rock with my dog Cam. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know I rock with Cam. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Cam supporter. I'm also a Carolina Panthers supporter. So, as much as I rock with Cam, I got to get into this, man. I'm getting tired of this. I'm getting tired of Cam Newton doing this. Meaning that I have no problem with him being injured. Injuries happen. I have no problem with injuries. You play a sport like this, especially with our sorry line with Darrell Williams in there, you're going to get hurt. I have no problem with injuries. The problem I have with Cam Newton is that he says he's going to be done being Superman. He says he's done being the guy who, you know what I'm saying, opens his chest up and the Superman guy. But he stayed doing things that would affect the team negatively because he wants to be Superman. And I understand he's a football player. And football players do that. They want to play the game. They want to be, you know what I'm saying, be there for their teammates. And I understand that. I'm cool with that. But I thought he learned his lesson last year. Because last year, we took a tumble. We played horribly. Why? Because he had an injury. I was like, all right, you know, you got an injury. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I respect it, whatever. But he was playing horribly, and he's hurt. Sit down, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sit down. I have no problem with you being hurt, but stop being hurt and playing and making our team worse. Like he said, he finally came to the realization, hopefully he did, that he will not be effective if he's not 100%. And I'm cool with that. But you should have made that idea. You should have thought that before you got injured in the preseason. You try to rush back week 1, and then we took 2 losses. Now, mind you, the Rams game, like I said, was a close loss. It is what it is, right? And that game was, like I said, a toss-up. I mean, I think we could be, maybe 4-0 right now, or 3-0. But again, it is what it was. It was a hard match, hard-fought team, whatever. But the Buccaneers game, if it's a situation where, and he said himself, he can get a yard. He's gonna run through you. He's gonna jump over you. He's gonna get that yard. So when I see him North turn to do an end around, I was like, that's a horrible play call. Why didn't you give it to Cam? And now I know why. That injury caused us a loss. Because if Cam was healthy, I know they would have did a QB sneak. I know he would have got the 1 yard, and I know would have won that game. So that's why I have an issue, because not only is he hurting our team by playing while he's hurt, but he's hurting the fans, because and obviously, like I said, I'm gonna get into the part where he basically talks about, he has to do this for the fans. I'm gonna get into that, but he's hurting the fans because we don't know what's going on. We only know what you guys report. And if they say you're healthy and they're coming up to you and saying, "Hey man, are you hurt? You hurt?" Like, we don't know that part. And obviously, he's being very open and honest and telling us that part now. But bro, why do you wait till we 0-2, and then Kyle Allen comes in and he wins our first game to come out and say, "Yeah, I was hurt," and stop that. Stop that retroacting, like apologizing. Don't apologize, don't do it. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't deal with apologies. Why? Because I look at things, I always think about my action before I make them. Because there's certain things you cannot apologize for. There's certain things that you have to cover. And obviously, yes, it's football. It's just a game. You know what I'm saying? He's just a football player. But you hold your teammates and your coaching staff and the fans hostage when you play injured and you lose games for us. Now, mind you, I still think Cam is one of the best players I've ever seen. I still think Cam is going to be great when he comes back, healthy. But if you're not healthy, sit down, bro. If you're not healthy, sit down. Now, he went into it and he has a mild lisfranc. And I've talked last video about lisfranc injury and how they're basing it both in the middle of the foot. And, I didn't really know if Joe Pearson's had a credible source for saying this. And Cam came out and said it, so I got to give, credit Joe Pearson for reporting it. And I have no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong. I was just like, I was like, where are they getting this information from if the medical reports are not saying this? Now, mind you, I think the Panthers might be in the issue because if they said mild foot sprain and it's a lisfranc injury, they might be able to get off it because they said mild foot sprain, it's a middle foot sprain, whatever. But by not reporting injuries, you can get in a lot of trouble. So we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But, Cam opened up about it. Cam said he's going to support Kyle Allen. Cam, seems like he's going through a lot. Maybe, he's a little depressed. Because, again, like, Greg Olsen said the same thing. When he came back from the foot injury and then he re-injured the foot, he was like, "Oh, my God, I got to go through this whole process again." Andrew Luck said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, I think Cam is still upbeat. I think Cam is still positive. But it's hard coming off an injury and then getting injured again. You know what I'm saying? He said, it's not his shoulder's fine. And I'm happy for that. Because that matters. I'm happy that it's just a mild lisfranc injury. And hopefully he'll be back soon. And he said, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like he said, now I really believe what Joe Pearson said. And maybe he's going to be out until after the bye week. Which I'm cool with. But just don't jeopardize your team, Cam. Just don't do things that makes people think, "Hey, man, is he just being selfish?" Because, again, I don't think Cam Newton is selfish at all. I think he's a team player. And I think he really wants to help his team. But the way people are going to perceive it as, "Oh, he just want to keep on playing. He just want, he was doing this for himself." He's not thinking about his team. And that's what's messed up about it. Because when, Aaron Rodgers does it. And Aaron Rodgers, like I said, is a great player. But, again, Aaron Rodgers, when he's injured, bro, it's hard for you to win games. It's hard. Cam Newton, when he's injured, it's hard for you to win games. Drew Brees is injured. There's so many people that are injured right now. Just, if you're injured, sit down, bro. Because it doesn't benefit anybody for you to play hurt and play badly and then we lose the game. You're still getting the same result. If Kyle Allen comes in and he plays and, we lose, what's the difference between him losing and you losing? There is no difference. But if you're healthy, you'll give us a better chance to win. So, Cam, I rock with you. Thank you for being honest. I'm happy that you connect with your fans. And I like the idea that you have a YouTube channel because you can control the narrative yourself. But when you're hurt, sit down, bro. Relax. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that you finally came to that realization. But I feel like that's 2 games too late, personally. Well, that's it for me, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share some cool things like Facebook and Reddit and Instagram and Roman.com and Twitter and wherever else. And guys, get in the comment section, man. How do you feel about Cam Newton and the Panthers hiding his injury for the first 2 games that resulted in losses? Do you think he should just set out from the very beginning? Maybe it'll heal quicker or he'll be, able to play? How do you feel about the whole thing? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you think the Panthers will win against the Houston Texans? I'm pretty sure most of you are Panthers fans, but be honest. Put that in the comment section below. Check out the Spreadshirt account. Check out the Patreon page. Both those links are in the description. Check out the NFL affiliate link. That link is also in the description below. Cops on camera gear. Cops from Carolina Panther gear. and join the Patreon page. Y'all already know what it is, man. Check out my dog Renard's Steam channel. Very funny dude, very talented. We also have a podcast together that has been getting rave reviews from the people that watch it. Definitely tune in. The video is going to be at the end of my video in the end screen. We talk about some pretty interesting topics, man. So definitely check that out. Shout out to all the Panther fans. You might Panther related, you might football related. Let them know LCameraTV is rocking Panther Nation. Panther Nation rocking LCameraTV. Thank y'all for showing love. Thank y'all for always tuning in, man. And I'm going to see y'all next time. Peace.